Good morning, Canadian Yarn Horde. My name is Alyssa and this is Raven. And as you can see, Willow's right there. Today is going to be a project video. We are going to make these knitted Santa mitts. I just came up with the idea about 3 days ago, so I'm sure it's been done before. If it has, I do swear I came up with it on my own. Basically, this is something I've been racking my brain about trying to figure out, and I was able to finally come up with a couple of ideas this weekend. So this will be the knitted version. I do have a crocheted version as well. As I said, you can see Willow back there, and Raven just took off wherever he's going. And if you are new here, thank you very much. I do appreciate it. You will notice my cats are always throughout the videos. They come, they go. This is Maya at my feet. You'll see her in some of the videos. She sometimes gets up, but she very much is always at my feet. And if you're a returning viewer, thank you very much for coming back. I very much appreciate it. What a quick synopsis of what I like to do here, just so if you are new, I'm sure people who come back get tired of this part, but it helps. I like to do Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. I like to do daily updates, basically keeping an eye on a bigger project I have on the go behind the scenes. The project I have, I'm almost done with. Very much looking forward to having it done. It's been a long time. It's been, I think, about a month I've been working on it. And that is the importance of doing these daily updates, is so somebody who's new to this can understand that this can take a while. Things, even beanies, can take 8 hours. I do try to let people know, like, this shouldn't take that long, more than an hour or two. I think it'll take me about 2 hours to fully make this. So, it doesn't take a long time. I do try to let you know that. Tuesdays, Thursdays, and Sundays, sorry. Tuesdays, Thursdays, and Sundays, I do project videos where I do believe you can do them, because I do like to try to teach people how to do this and explore my creativity. As I said, I do try to come up with my own ideas. I would love to earn your like and subscription. I would definitely love to hear from you, any questions, comments, or concerns you have below. I'm going to move you over to the overhead cam and we will get started. So for this project, I am going to use this craft cord from Dollarama. As you can see, it's $2. That is for the buckle. It is a stretch cord. It does work. It was the only gold I could find. I am trying to do something in gold, and gold is not an easy color to come across. So if you do actually have any ideas, other embroidery floss or this, I would love to hear about it, because I'm trying to find gold. And you get yellow and a yellowish tinge, but gold is not the easiest to come by. So if you do happen to know of any of it, I would appreciate that. And turn on my light. We are going to use 3 3/4 needles all the way through. So right from cast on to cast off, we will be using these size needles. The yarn I am using is this red is Premier Just Yarn Plush, $2 at Dollar Tree in Canada. It is 100% polyester. Now this one is a Bernat Velvet. I do not have the white label. I do believe it's downstairs currently. So you can use this, just Premier Just Chenille from the dollar store as well. I did use that for another project I have on the go, but for this one, I used the white version of the Bernat Velvet. You can get it for $12.99 at Lens Mills. This one is considered Blackbird. Obviously, it's not the black. I will be using this black for the belt, so that's why I can use it for the label for the white. It is a 5 bulky. It does recommend a 6.5 millimeter needle and a 6.5 millimeter hook. It recommends hand washing. However, I do know for 100% fact you can throw this stuff in the dryer and the washer. I have done it and it comes out beautifully. Not necessarily the plush. This is new to me, so I will be trying that at some point. I'm sure I'll do a coffee cozy or something with it and test it out, or these will get dirty or whatever, and I will give you an update on if they can be put into the washer and dryer. As I said, the velvet can. The only problem with the velvet is every now and then it will do what is called worming. And worming is a term where the yarn will loop outwards and twist around itself, and it looks really ugly. I have had that happen. I find when you knit with velvet or chenille, it can do that if you're not using a very small needle or hook. Because I'm using a very smaller needle and hook, these shouldn't worm out. However, they do have the possibility. So if you do want to keep these nice for when you want to use them, you may want to do that. I'm not assuming these will worm, but I have had it happen. So just as a forewarn, velvet is really, really nice. I do prefer the velvet, the Bernat velvet to the Walmart Cozy. I think it's the Walmart Cozy velvet or plush or whatever they call it. Now you are going to want a bit of a tail. You're going to make a slip knot. So what I do is I wrap around the two fingers and I pinch with my thumb and my index finger, pull it off, and grab the loop behind. Then I like to use a crochet hook. I will be using a 3.5. Pardon me. The reason I do like to do this is because you get a really nice, stretchy border to cast on. I apparently am going to have to wash these at some point. That was cast off. As you can see, it doesn't give anywhere near the same stretch you can get with this. You want to be not tight, but just a nice, oops, I guess that's not what I'm doing. I'm supposed to be casting it on, not just making a chain. So how we do that is I put the slip knot on the hook and you just wrap around the needle. This is also a technique you can use for a lacy technique where you wrap around a ruler and you do the same technique. Although this is to cast on for your knitting needles, and you're going to cast on 34 stitches. But you just want to go around the needle, around the hook, and then pull through. Around both and pull through. As I said, you're going to cast on 34 stitches. I will do that. I will come back and I will talk about the next row. So I have my 33 stitches on the needle because for the 34 stitches comes off your hook onto your needle, and there's your 34 stitches. So now that you have your 34 stitches, you're going to grab your needle and you are going to do, I think it's 1.5 inches of ribbing. So ribbing is, if you're new, knit 1, bring the yarn in front, put the needle in the front, from front to back, or back to front, I should say. Go through, put the yarn in the back, front to back, come in the front, back to front, and continue on. Now this is going to be a 1-row repeat, so you're going to continue this exact pattern because you should have 34 stitches, which is an even number, so that means you should end with a purl. And then your next row, you just start with the knit 1, purl 1. And you're going to do that for 1.5 inches. I'm going to measure it just to be sure in just a second. And then, because I'm pretty sure it's 1.5 inches. Yep, 1.5 inches. So I will be back after I have my 1.5 inches and I will show you how to do it. So I have the right length right now. I've got it at the right spot. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to trim a little bit of a tail. And we're done with the white for now. Now you will need it at the last of it. But now you're going to turn to the red. Now, there it is. Now, remember you do have to make 2. And now this, what you're going to do is you're going to knit 1 row and purl 1 row. So what you want to do is change color. And you're just going to knit in the front line row, just like that, for every stitch. So where ribbing, you changed every stitch. This one, you're just going to knit every stitch. And it is pretty much going to be a stocking stitch all the way up. You are going to do 5 inches of this red of knit 1 row, purl 1 row. And then we're going to change it a little bit. So I will be back after I show you how to purl. And then I'm going to do my 5 inches and I'm going to show you how we progress after that. For this, you're just going to keep knitting this row. And then the next row, like I said, is purl. Very simple, very basic. This is actually a very simple pattern, a very basic knitted pattern, but it really did come very pretty. And you could call this the Mrs. Claus gloves if you really want to. I'm just going to call them my Santa Claus fingerless gloves. And you just keep going on. So now you're going to turn the row, and now you're going to purl. And you're going to just purl. So back to front, wrap around, pull through, and you're just going to do that. So you're going to repeat these 2 rows for 5 inches, and then I will come back and I will show you the next stages. So I got my 5 inches done. Now what you're going to do is you are going to, the next row, you're going to knit 17. So you're just going to do 17 stitches. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17. So 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14, 16, 17. Now you're going to turn. You're going to work 3 more rows. So purl 1, knit 1, and then purl 1. And then I will come back and I will show you what the next part to do is. So this is your purl 1. You will knit and purl another row, and then I will come back. Okay, so I've knit 1, I purled 1, and now I'm going to knit 1 again. So that should be 5 rows here. And then I'm going to cut the thread, and I'm going to start on the other side, and I'm going to do 5 rows there. So you just want to knit over the 17 stitches, and then what you're going to do is cut the yarn. So there we have that. Now I want to cut the yarn probably about there. Oh wait, oh well. This one doesn't need a big tail. It doesn't need a tail at all. That's why I said, oh well. Now you're going to do 5 rows here. So this is your first knit. And I really did actually like this plush yarn for this. So if you get the chance to get it, it's very much like a pipsqueak yarn. This one is, as I said, it's a dark red. I don't actually know if there's a color on here. This one's color is berry. And I actually really like it. It's a really nice dark red. So almost, I'd say a dark raspberry, to be honest. So as I said, you're going to do the 5 rows here. And I will come back and show you how I'm going to finish it off. So now what you're going to do is you're going to purl a full row across. And then you're going to change to white and you're going to knit a full row across. So, or sorry, this one's purl. You're going to purl this row and then the next row is knit. So you're going to purl the red row all the way across, joining both sides again. So basically what will happen is you're going to hit the center hole, which is your thumb hole. And you're going to work your way over to that. So there's the thumb hole. And then you just grab the next stitch. I like to do these two together so you kind of don't lose a stitch. And then drop that one. I mean, you could bring it all the way over, but I don't need to. So I'm just gonna purl it all the way over. And then we're going to knit a row. And then we'll start the top ribbing. And it is actually really important that you knit the first row with white, that you don't start into the ribbing, because you do not want that look. That will ruin your finished product. So that's why I'm finished that one. I wanted to connect the red before I went to, and I'm leaving a bit for darning up, but we are done with the red now. So you don't need any more red. My needle back. Now you're going to grab the white and you are going to start, start with one row knit. And I normally would change needles, but this yarn is so thick that actually it probably not work well if I went smaller. So that's why I figured if I just left them with the one size needle this time, it would probably work well. So just wrap that around, your end around, and then you just work your way to the end of this row. Now, it is only 2 rows of ribbing. I didn't want a lot. I just wanted a little bit at the top. So you'll have 1 full row of ribbing like you did at the bottom. And then the next row you will cast off as you do the ribbing. And that's just because, like I said, I really didn't want a lot. I don't want them going too far up. If you wanted to make mitts, you could easily do that. But I wanted to make some fingerless gloves because that's what I use most. When I put them on, I still want the functionality of my fingers, whether I have to get my phone or whether I'm driving or whatever. I like to be able to use my fingers to do a proper grip. So now that we're done this row, so now I'll flip it over and you'll see that red and white row again. That's because you're changing color. You really always want to make sure when you change color, you think about this because this can have a big effect on your finished product. Now you're going to knit 1, purl 1 all the way to the end. So knit 1, purl 1, knit 1, purl 1, knit 1, purl 1. So I will be back in a minute when I have it done. And I will show you how to do the cast off row. Okay, so I have that first row done. So this one, you're just going to knit 1, purl 1, and then what you're going to do is you're going to cast off. Now try to leave it as loose as possible. Casting off is not easy with needles. I have tried many different ways. This really is the best way. Hold it extremely loose in your hand. Pull when you come through with the needles so you're not tightening them up. And you just keep going. And that'll give you as loose of a cast off as you can do. I will come back when we are done and I will show you the next steps. So this is where you do not want to tie it up just yet. I mean, you could, but do pardon me. So we're going to make another slip knot. And now what you're going to do with your crochet hooks, you're going to now crochet the little black belt. So you want to make sure your chain is long enough to go around your gloves. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26, 27, 28, 29, 30, 1, 32, 33, 34, 35, and 36. I think should be a good number. Oh, it doesn't look like I need quite that many. So I can go 2 more. 1, 2. So there we go. So now what you're going to do, well, now you're going to single crochet each stitch. And then you're going to just get to the end and finish this off. And you're only doing the 1 row. So you're just going to keep moving down. And you could easily knit this. You could easily knit a tube or just 3 or 4 stitches to make up a belt. I like to have both crochet and knit. I'm not actually sure how you would do the buckle either if it wasn't crochet. I will show you how I did that next. Well, first I'm going to show you how to sew most of it up. I'm going to start sewing up, but I won't finish it because I will show you why. I want to thread the belt buckle on first. So you could do the belt buckle next and then thread it up, which I think is what I actually did, but actually I might do that again. Make it simpler. Get all the pieces assembled and then assemble it together. This is one of the few times I don't actually thread sew in my ends because I am putting on extra parts at this point. I got a little bit of a, there we go. And I really like the velvet for this because I used the plush. The velvet kind of stands out a bit. And as I said, if you have a great idea for a goldish yarn, something that's actually fairly close to true gold, I am looking for a project for something I'm doing. This is the closest I've come to other than gold embroidery thread and some gold yarns, but they don't quite look right. So if you have a better idea, would love to hear it. Love to learn what you might use if you were going to make the buckle. This worked. I mean, it is just stretchy cord. I wasn't sure if it would, but it did work. So you want to leave a bit of a tail because you are going to sew this in. There we go. But you are now done with the black. So you don't need any more black. You don't need any more white. Now you just need this elastic stretch cord. And this is, I didn't know if this was going to work when I first did this, and I was very proud to see it did work. And as I said, I did get this at the dollar store. I looked around, hunted. I'm sure Walmart might have something, or Michael's. I did not check them out. I just went to the dollar store, Walmart. I've looked online, that kind of thing. So now for this, you are going to make your slip knot. And then you're going to chain. I think I did 11. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, and 11. Now what I did was oh, that might be a little too much. So I'm going to go 9. Come over here and grab 1 stitch. So you have a circle. Chain 9 again. 1, 2, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Now what you're going to do is you're going to grab this stitch right here. Oh, that's too much. So you're just 8, 7. So try that. You're trying for even. You want to make it as even as possible. So like that. Chain 1, and now you're going to work around. So 1, 2, and then on the third one, I recommend, actually on the second one, I recommend 1, 2, 3 in 1 stitch. So you go around the corner. And then 1, and then you do 2, And then the third one, you're going to do the go around the corner again. One, oops. This is not the easiest to work with. I will say, if I had the choice to get embroidery thread, I think it would be easier. 1, 2, 3. The nice thing about this, though, will be it does stretch, so you can work with it. So 1, 2, 3. And then the fourth one we're going to turn. So here's the turning one. So you do 3 in 1 stitch. 1, 2, and 3. This will be a far better one. I kind of perfected it after my third or fourth. I've done this about 4 times now, making this particular buckle. Do 1, last one. It's 1, 2, 3 again. 1, 2, 3. And now you should be able to do 1 stitch. Slip knot these 2 together and pull through. Now, as I said, you're going to darn them in. It is not the easiest stuff to work with, I will give you that, but it is working for what I need it to. So, as I said, if I can't come up with a better idea, at least it'll work, because you really want, very few times are you really, really looking for a certain complete shade that you can't find in yarn, and gold seems to be one of them. I don't know if you could find some good crochet thread that comes in gold. I haven't found it yet if that does. And you definitely want it to look like this. So now what you're going to do is you're going to fight with darning these in, because they are a bit more of a fight. It isn't yarn, so it is a bit more of a fight. And I just want to go through there, pull through, trim this one off. And yes, you do want to make sure you make this before you sew it all together, so that you can thread your black through the buckle. And there you go. And the nice part about that is now the buckle is almost free form. So it's free moving. You can put it wherever you want it. So if it's bugging you in one spot, it will move around. So it is not stationary. That's kind of the nice thing I really do like about this. And then we're just going to darn this end in so that it goes all the way down and is kind of as locked in as we can make it, because you're not going to have a huge amount of tension on these, on the buckle. So as long as you're not a little kid just, reefing on it. So trim that. Now we're going to start sewing up the ends, and I'm going to use the back as a guide to where I sewed in the black. You want to make sure that you have the inside is your good side and the outside is the wrong side. So I'm going to just sew this up. Pardon me, sew this up. And like I said, this is only 1 stitch, so you don't have to do much, but you really want to make sure you kind of give a good sewing to it so it doesn't come undone on you. Tighten. You could wear these for a Santa Claus parade. You could wear these for a Christmas night walk in Orangeville. There's this really pretty park every year. It's called Casey Gardens. It is in the center of town. It is near, I want to say, the Pizza, if that is still there. I haven't been to Orangeville in probably a few years now. It's where I grew up. It's a free to do, so it's free to go in. You get to go in and you walk the park. They do accept donations, so they can make it better the next year, and it always gets bigger and better. It's always so beautiful. They open it, I think, at 6 at night, and it goes to 10, but don't quote me on those hours if you're in Ontario and you're near Orangeville. It is a beautiful park to go for a walk through. As I said, it is free. I wish more communities did this. Casey Gardens started with a couple of businesses just donating a few trees, and every year it has grown into this enormous Christmas display that everybody in Orangeville goes to. You have to go to it at least once a year. It's beautiful. It's so festive. And there's a center that you park at across the street from the park. They serve hot chocolate in there. I can't remember if it's like I don't think it's the old folks center. I think it's more like a town hall type thing, because I do know it's where we would go to vote. It is a beautiful time of year to visit Orangeville and visit that park particularly. As I said, it is free. So if you are up in the Canadian area in Ontario, I do recommend it. We're actually going to go back to Orangeville because there's nothing up here in Barrie like it. Everything up here is pay to go. And as I said, Orangeville it's a free little walk. And it's so pretty. And I kind of miss it. So you just stitch up the one side because you don't got to worry about it, because your thumb isn't anywhere near this. And I'm just going to do one into the white just because there's some red there still. So it won't be hurting that. And then you just come back up a bit, kind of to double back your work so it's harder to pull the threads out. Oh, I didn't do that. Shoot, that's what I was supposed to do. Oh well, I can do that a different way. What I did was I was able to hold it in place and sew it in when I did the back. I didn't do it this time, so I will be able to sew it in no matter what. It just won't look as nice as the first one, unless I pulled it back out, which I could do that as well. I'm just gonna finish this off, but I don't want to ruin the yarn. However, I might pause it, come back, and I will be back there. So I'm going to pause it and I will show you how I incorporated the black one in just a sec. All right, so now what we're going to do, I've managed to pull it open. So as you can see, there's an open spot there. I want to get my measurements. As you can see, I have these little bits of fluff kicking around. This is what the chenille will do. I don't know if there's any way to get around it. A velvet yarn is always going to do that. So what we're going to do here, I'm going to hold them together basically. So here, this is how they look. I want to flip them this way, which that is exactly where I want it. So you want to put the black here, go around, grab the black on the other side, and then you're going to flip it inside out again, because you want to make sure you get placement. So I've got placement good now. So now you get that up, black here, and I need the other black one, making sure I did not bend it at all, twist it. You want to make sure it's not twisted. So line that one up, get your black on. It does take a little bit of trickery to get yourself aligned to do this perfectly. But once you get it, so you just tighten that one up. And then come in again. Come into the edge, which is that one right there. Come across to this one's edge and then come back into the red. Pull that. I'm going to tie it up because I want the two ends tied. I will darn them in a minute, but I'm going to finish with the red. And as I said, I did forget this, so I am just going back and fixing this part up again because I actually really like the worked in look. So it looks natural, like it's supposed to be worked in, as opposed to, oh, it's just sitting on top of it. I didn't want that look. I wanted it to look fairly worked in. I'm going to put a locking stitch here because I can see there's way too much play now. There. And as you see, with a locking stitch, I could pull it in before. Once you do that locking stitch, you can't pull it in. So that's why I call it a locking stitch, because I think that's what it should be called. It's what I call it. It locks the work into place, and therefore you know, you're not going to pull it out. You're not going to pull the string too tight unless you're really pulling on it. So now you just finish this off. Always pulling back a little bit just to make sure you didn't pull too tight. It can happen. It can happen easy. And then it takes the size gauge right out of the water with the second one. So when you're doing the second one, you really do want to make sure that you're not pulling too tight on anything. Pull that up. Now for the black, you're just going to kind of work in the area where the black is, because you don't want to have black somewhere else. I'm going to trim all three. And now I'm going to have little black tufts everywhere. And now, like I said, how this one didn't really need a tail, and I kind of made an oopies on it and left a bit more of a tail than I should have. I just have to darn that in. Then I will flip it inside out and show you the finished pair. So there's that. We're just going to thread it back through. Trim it off. And then once I pull it through, now I will do that. And as I said, now you just kind of get it into the place you want it. Get it looking the way you would like it to. Go. And put them on. And there you have it. Really nice Santa gloves. So I hope to see you again. I hope you have a wonderful day. Bye.